Hi friends, my name is Veronica and I run my own small business called Loopingteddys. And welcome back to another week of market prep in my little studio. I'm so happy to be back here again. It's currently already Thursday of this week. It's currently April 24th and I wanted to get this video started and check in with you guys because we have another busy week of market prep ahead of us. But I've already been kind of busy this week. I have made quite a lot of plushies. I was out of town for Monday and Tuesday of this week, so that is why I'm checking in kind of late for this week. But I have been kind of busy, so I brought over my trusted big bag of works in progresses, so let's get into those. Okay, so first up, let's get into the plushies I was working on during my car ride when I was out of town. So I was working on quite a lot of these little penguin bodies. That is what they look like, and they obviously still need eyes and their beak sewn on, so this is why we have this long orange string, and then we need to stuff them and close them up. But I made quite a lot of them during the car ride, so let me get all of them out for you. So I made a total of 9 of these penguin bodies. So I definitely want to get them finished up today so we can put them into my market prep planner. And if you're wondering what a market prep planner is, I basically made this huge cheat sheet of everything I want to bring to markets. So my ideal market inventory, where I kind of planned out everything in like a lot of detail. So I planned out all of the types of plushies I want to be making and the amounts. And I also went one step further and planned out the colors I want to make the plushies in so that I don't have to think about a lot of things when I'm actually market prepping, and I can just crochet a bunch of items and not really wonder what to make next. And currently in my market prep planner we still have 0 penguins because none of them are finished, so I would really like to get them done and closed up so I can put them in here because I want to have a total of 30 of them ideally, and now I have prepped 9 of them already, so I'm actually kind of happy about that, but I will definitely have to finish them up. And kind of in a similar way, I was also working on some baby octos while I was away. And I actually made quite a lot of them as well. So I made 9 baby octos in total while I was in the car, and they also still need eyes and stuffing and to be closed up. But I made a total of 5 of those very bright orange octos. I made 2 in this very bright blue, and then 2 in this very bright green. So I will finish them up hopefully today as well so we can put them into the market prep planner. And then when I got back from my little trip, I have been working on some more plushies already as well, and I actually finished up some of them, so let me show them to you first. So I realized that I had none of my brontosauruses, and they have actually been kind of popular at my 2 markets I've already done this year, so I ended up selling out of them pretty quickly. So in my planner I decided I wanted to make 10 in like my ideal inventory, and I still had 0 in there, and that was actually the only type of item that I hadn't worked on at all. So I decided that this week was going to be Brontosaurus week, and I've been on kind of a Brontosaurus kick. So I finished up 2 of them already. First one in this nice like yellowish green color, and this one is the most popular color of Brontosaurus at all of my markets. So I actually want to make 3 of them. So out of the 10, 3 will be in this color, and I finished up this one already. And then I moved on to the next one in the same color, but I actually ended up running out of yarn and I didn't have any more of this color back at home, and I was crocheting late at night, so I didn't want to go over here to grab a skein of yarn. So I just decided to move on to the next color and leave it like this so that I can actually work on this while I'm here again and finish that one up here. So I moved on to the next color, and that was this bright orange. So I already finished up this one here is what he looks like. And I actually really like this color as a brontosaurus, and this one tends to do pretty well as well, but nowhere near enough this one. So this one will be the only one in this color, but I've already finished it up. And then, as I said before, I have been on kind of a brontosaurus kick. So I moved on to the next one, and I'm actually kind of working on it still. So we have this really bright red one, and we already have the 4 feet connected. We have the hole where the tail will be eventually, and now I actually have to like just decrease on the body until we can move on to the neck and head portion. So I definitely want to work on that some more pretty soon as well, because I have been having lots of fun with these brontosauruses, and I actually hope that I can get all of them finished pretty quickly, so all 10 of them, because they have been one of my most popular items at my most recent markets. So both of the 2 markets I've done this year so far have been super popular for dinos, and at my last market, when I sold out of them, I was actually asked like 10 more times if I had any more of the dinos, because people just loved them, and people had been like walking by and saw the dinos when they hadn't sold out yet, and they came back and I had sold out of them, and they were asking about some more of the dinos, but I didn't have any left, and I always gave them my card to be able to order them online, but I actually still don't have them up on Etsy. So my goal is to make all 10 of them, or at least as many as I can possibly get done, and then actually take some pictures of them like together, and like just in general like nice product pictures this week, and put them up on Etsy as well, because I don't really know why I haven't put them on Etsy yet. There's like no particular reason. So I really want to take the opportunity when I have a couple of them in stock to take some nice product pictures and finally put up a listing for those, because I think that might have been why most of the people that asked about them at the market actually never reached out to me and asked about the brontosauruses, because they couldn't order them online, and then it's a whole nother step to reach out to a person and ask to order something like custom. So that is one of the goals I have with these brontosauruses. But actually, I think the first thing that I will do today is finish up all of the plushies that I was working on during my trip before we move on to the 2 brontosaurus whips, because I'm really trying to be better about having a million works in progress at a time and actually finishing up some of them before I move on to the next items. So that is what we will do first.
Memories sweet in every laugh, in every sigh. I feel you slipping, passing by. Ooh, yeah. Shadows linger soft and low. Ooh, yeah. Pieces of you I can't let go. Fading memories like whispered dreams. Hold on tight, but they slip unseen. Colors dim like evening light. Lost in time, not out of sight. I trace the lines where you used to be. A part of you still haunting me. Familiar places, an empty chair. Moments we had that disappear.
Okay friends, it's now a while later. I've actually finished up all of the plushies I had been working on during the car ride. So I have all of the penguins completely finished up, all 9 of them, and then all of the baby octos as well. So I will now put them into my market prep planner. This whole step ended up taking quite a lot longer than I thought, but we're finished now. So that is one of the reasons why I want to keep finishing up my plushies like throughout the week and not have a ton of works in progress at a time anymore, because I always underestimate how long the steps after like actually crocheting the plushie take. So I'm glad that I finished those up, and now after I put all of the plushies we just finished into the market prep planner, I actually think I will go ahead and film some short form content because the lighting is pretty good and I don't really have any reels left to post. So I would really like to do some content with all of the plushies I made in the past 2 weeks, because I think that that's quite a lot and I think I could get some good content out of that. So that is actually what I think I will do next. Okay friends, so I have now filmed a couple of clips for my reels for probably the next week or so, and I will actually now be heading out of the studio for today since I'm heading out for dinner, but I will actually grab a skein of this color so I can work on this brontosaurus some more, and I will of course take this one as well and try and work on that one a little bit as well tonight possibly. And I will of course check back in with you guys tomorrow. Over the course of the weekend, one of my big goals is again to make a couple of candle vessels. I'm not sure if I will be doing that tomorrow, depends on how many people are in the building that my studio is located in, because you can really hear quite a lot of noise from the other rooms and I don't want to disturb other people when they're working. So I can only really make my candle vessels on the weekends. So we will see how many people are there Friday, or if I do that mostly on Saturday. But that is my big goal, to get a couple more of the vessels finished so I can seal a ton of them and then make more candles next week for the markets that are coming up, because I need to restock some of those still. So we will see how all of the weekend will go, but I will see you guys tomorrow for another day in the studio. Okay friends, so I'm now back at the studio. It's currently Friday. It's the afternoon already, and I mostly came over here to actually pour some candle vessels today, because I feel like I'm slightly running out of time to actually make all of the candles I want and need to make for the next markets. But I thought while I was at the studio, I could update you on what I've been working on since I last checked in with you. So yesterday evening, I ended up working some more on my brontosauruses, and while I didn't finish them up completely, I at least finished up most of the body for them. So I added the eyes for them and closed up the head. So the only thing we need to do now is make the tails for those two. And then this morning I was working on the brontosauruses some more, and I started on another color, which is this turquoise color. And I never made a brontosaurus in this color before, but I think that this one might actually do pretty well because it's like a perfect dinosaur color. The only thing with this yarn is I don't know what happened with this batch of yarn for this color, but it's like it's kind of hard to describe, but it's very like squeaky yarn. It's like very like hard compared to the other yarn colors, and it's like it's not as soft and fuzzy as the other one. So I don't really know what happened there, and it's kind of annoying to work with because it gets really squeaky all of the time. But I've been trying to push through because I really like the color, so it's such a shame that this one is kind of annoying to crochet with. But my goal today is actually to finish up hopefully all 3 of those dinosaurs, and as I said before, make lots of candle vessels. I was supposed to get my yarn order in that I ordered I think last week, and it ended up not being delivered and instead being brought to the post office, so I will need to pick that up tomorrow. So we will have a yarn haul tomorrow. I'm actually waiting on a couple of the colors that are in that yarn order. So we will go through all of that tomorrow. But for now, I will start a batch of candle vessels, and then the next thing that you will see is probably me finishing up these dinosaurs.
What you said before the future makes our minds up for us. I don't wanna see you fail.
Hi friends, it's now Saturday and I'm back at the studio for some more small business work. I'm currently on a power candle vessel making session, but actually a lot of people commented under my recent videos that they would like to see a little more of my candle making, so I will actually take you guys along for a little bit of that. I have just started to fill up all of my molds for the first time today, and I actually had a package arrive with some more molds. So I rebought some of my classic molds and also some new molds for some specially shaped vessels that I can't wait to try out because I have the fragrances and everything here already. So I'm really excited to get into that in just a second. But before that, I wanted to keep you updated on what I've been working on since I last spoke to you yesterday. So first of all, I finished up all of my brontosauruses. So I have the green one, I have the red one, and then I also finished up the minty turquoise one, and I really like this color. I think that this one will be pretty popular at my next market. At least that's what I'm guessing, because like blue and greens for dinos I think are the more popular colors. So we will see about it. But I finished all three of those, so we will put them into the market prep planner once I have finished this candle vessel making part of today's studio work, since I really want to get that done because today is Saturday and I am the only person here. So I feel like I can pretty freely do a little more of the noisy work that is the candle vessel making. So I have actually set up a shot in the back. You can kind of see it here with like a little plant and some props and stuff to be able to do a little more of content for the candle making. So I've been shooting lots of short form content footage so that I can finally get started with creating an Instagram and an online shop for the candles. That is one of my big goals for the spring season, to get that started. And yeah, that is what I have been busy with while I was here. But I have also crocheted a little more. So I decided to move away from the brontosauruses now a little bit, because I have 5 of them completed, and move on to some of the plushies that I don't currently have a lot of. One of which is turtles. So I started making some turtle shells, just these like classic green turtle shells for my what I call natural looking turtles. So this is the shell color, and then this is the body color. So this will be the natural looking turtle. And I finished 5 of these green shells because I want to make 5 natural looking turtles. And I got started on the first head, but I haven't gotten far. So this is how far I have come with that. So not all that much, but that will be the next items that I work on. But now I will first unpack my new molds, and then we will pour some more candle vessels, and yeah, I will try and take as much footage of that as I can to have lots of little clips of the whole process, to be able to make lots of short form content. I really want to be super active once I start my Instagram for that. I want to pre-shoot a lot of footage for the short form content I want to post on there. But let's get into this package. Okay, so I have now unpacked them and I got 4 new molds, or like 4 more molds. So these 2, this one and then also this one is my classic mold, the small and the big one for my like standard vessels. So like these ones, this is the big one. So I just wanted to have one more of each size so I can pour the vessels quicker, because right now I need to wait until they're dry. Then I need to demold them and pour them again, and that kind of takes a long time because most of my candles are in that shaped vessel. So I really wanted to get some more of those in the 2 different sizes that I have them in. And then I also bought 2 new molds. So I think it's kind of hard to tell which one is which, but I think that this one will be like a little mug shaped one where I want to have a coffee scented candle. And then this one with the lid will be rose shaped. You can kind of tell it on the lid you can kind of tell on the lid what it will look like. So it will be rose shaped, and I have like a really nice rose scented scent that I really want to try out for that. So these 2 are new, so I will have to measure out how much jasmonite I need for those 2 molds. For the other 2, I hope that they will be exactly the same as the ones I currently have. So now I will move on to probably demolding all of the vessels I poured earlier because they have hardened out. So I can demold all of them. They're completely hardened. So that's what I will do next, and then we will measure the 2 new molds and keep pouring them. I have planned out how many more I need, so I kind of know what else to make. So I will now put the coffee mug and the rose on here as well, because I didn't know when these molds would arrive, so I didn't plan them out. So I will put them onto my planner and then keep working on those, and I will check in when something happens or once I move on to something else.
It's hard for me to be somewhere for too long. I'm always moving around, but as long as I'm on the same page as you're on, no point in slowing it down. 'Cause anywhere I'm going, if you're the one I'm holding, I could be anywhere. Long as you're beside me, tied into a right, I could be anywhere. I just need you there. I need you there. I need you there. I need you there. I need you. We could be floating a boat in a bay. We could be at home in a haze. We could be driving a silver Mercedes, or on a bike in the rain. 'Cause anywhere I'm going, if you're the one I'm holding, I could be anywhere. Suburbs to the city, I just want you with me. I could be anywhere. I just need you there. I need you there. I need you there. I need you there. I need you, need you.
Okay friends, so it's now quite a while later. I have been pretty busy with making lots of vessels today, so I didn't really crochet anything at all today because I wanted to focus on finishing up a lot of these vessels. But I am actually quite happy with how much I got done today. I will definitely have to work on getting the actual candles finished for next week's market until then as well. There's quite a lot to do still for that, but I will be heading home for today, and my big goal is to work on some of the turtle parts tonight so that I can hopefully finish up the natural looking turtles tomorrow. That is one of my goals. I also would really like to work on some of my wristlets tomorrow because I'm actually sold out of a couple of colors, so I want to make at least one in every single color so that I can restock my pegboard for the next market and have a little bit of everything finished again. So that is one of the goals tomorrow. We're also visiting a market tomorrow, so I'm not attending the market as a vendor, but rather I am thinking about signing up for this market for the fall market that they're having. So they have this market twice a year, and this weekend is the weekend for the spring market, so we will be heading to that market tomorrow and checking that out. I will try and get some footage there and show you what that looks like. It's like a huge market and I'm really interested in it, but I really want to see first what kind of vendors there are. So we will do that tomorrow. And for tonight, as I said, I'm just unmolding these vessels and cleaning up a little bit because candle making and vessel making is kind of a dirty craft. So I will be cleaning up the studio a little bit, and then I will hopefully check in tomorrow and show you lots of turtle parts that I got finished tonight. Hi friends, it's now Sunday and I'm back at the studio. It's quite late already, but I wanted to check in and tell you a little bit about the market I attended today. So, as I said yesterday, I wanted to check out a market that I was kind of interested in. So I wanted to see if the market was something that I would want to apply to in the future. So we went and checked out the market today. I didn't really get any footage, but I took a couple of pictures. So I will just put them up on the screen whenever. But yeah, the market was a great experience. It is more of a craft fair. So I usually don't do craft fairs. I mostly do little like town festivals where some handmade vendors are and then like some other vendors and organizations and stuff like that. So I've never actually done a real like craft fair like this. So I wanted to check it out first to see if that was something I would be interested in the future. They hold this market twice a year. So this was the spring market, and they also have a fall or like winter market that will be happening at the end of November. And they currently have the applications open for that one. So I wanted to see if that was something that I was interested in. And also I'm still waiting because on that weekend that the market is happening, I actually applied for a different market, but I will find out if I got into that one, I think like next week or the week after that. So if I don't get into that market, I will definitely apply for this one, even though the booth fee is kind of high. It's like 300 euros. There were so many people at this market. It was really packed and there were really cool vendors and the people were definitely there to shop. So I think that would be a great market for me to try out in the future. But first of all, I will wait until I know if I already have a market planned for that weekend or not. If I don't have one, I will definitely apply for the fall or winter show of this year. So we will see about that. I will definitely tell you if I get into the other market once I find out in the near future, because then we will know all of the markets for the rest of the year. That is the only market that I'm currently waiting on. And I think I then have all of the markets planned out until the end of the year, which is kind of crazy, but also it kind of relieves a lot of stress from me because that is kind of a long process to apply to lots of markets. So I have almost all of them planned out for the rest of the year, just waiting on the last couple of markets, and then I might apply to some smaller markets with just my candle inventory and try and get into some markets for just that, because I can replenish the inventory for that quicker than for the plushies. So I might do some filler markets like in between for just the candles to get some more income in for my small business. But for the whole inventory, my whole product range, I have most of the markets planned out for the rest of the year. So that's kind of exciting. I still have 15 more market days that are definite, and I'm still waiting on 6 more. So the market I'm still currently waiting on is 2 weekends with 3 days of markets. So there's quite a lot of markets still happening this year, and I can't wait for those. But since the next market is coming up in exactly 1 week, I also stayed kind of busy since I last checked in with you, and I was working on some more plushie parts. So let me show them to you. I brought them over here. So yesterday, I believe I showed you the turtle shells that I had already been working on. So I had 5 of these green shells. And then yesterday evening and then also today when we were driving to the market, I was working on all of the other body parts for the turtles. So the heads and the fins. And I finished all of them. So that's kind of a crazy amount of turtle parts for the 5 turtles. And honestly, all of the parts were not all that fun to make because this color is one of these like very like squeaky and less soft colors than the other yarn colors. So it's kind of annoying or like icky to work with. So I'm kind of glad that I made all of the parts for the turtles already. So let me try and hold them all at once. So here are all of the parts for the 5 turtles, so I can definitely work on finishing those up today. That would be my goal, to actually finish them up and put them into the tracker and be able to like write them onto this week. And then I also made 2 more plushies during the course of today. So one I was working on in the car when we were going back from the market. So I have this turquoise, what will eventually be a bigger octopus. So I will still need to put eyes in and stuff it and finish it off, but it's mostly made. And then I made another one of these octopi in this darker blue color when we were just sitting outside on the balcony. So I will need to finish that one off as well. So those are all of the plushies that I have been working on since I was talking to you yesterday. So now my goal is to finish all of them up, and then we will go over the total of this market prep week. I kind of took a more chill day today, which felt kind of amazing because the weather is really nice. It's definitely becoming spring and I was able to spend some more like free time today, which felt pretty good. So we will now work on finishing up the plushies and then we will do the grand total of this week of market prep.
Pick a movie, I'll pick you up, we'll go eat sushi, or we'll go downtown. With our best moves we can boogie. Oh my, we both look so fly, like sweet apple pie. Yeah, they want a piece of us. Oh my, when we drive on by, they just can't deny. Yeah, they wanna be like us. Na 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 na. We are goofy, playing tag in the jacuzzi. We'll go upstairs, with our best moves we get groovy. Oh my, we both look so fly, like sweet apple pie. Yeah, they want a piece of us. Oh my, when we...
Okay friends, so it's now a while later and I actually wasn't able to finish up all of the turtles, so I still have 3 more to make, but I realized that I am currently running out of the yarn, so this is the only piece that I have left of this yarn color because that is one of the colors I ordered for my yarn order, which I still haven't shown you because the post decided to be difficult again and not deliver the package to my house, but rather bring it to the post office, and then they kind of leave you a little slip to take to the post office and then pick up the package in return, to like handing them in the little slip. And on that little piece of paper it usually says when you are able to pick up the package, like once they have delivered it to the post office. And I went yesterday to pick it up because it was supposed to be there, but apparently it's not, so I have to wait until tomorrow until I'm able to pick up my package. So I currently don't have this yarn color left, and I thought I had some more over here, but apparently I don't, so I will need to finish up the 3 remaining turtles tomorrow, so I can't really make them today anymore. So I only have these 2 little guys finished, but they're looking spectacular. So we can add those into the market prep planner. And then I also finished up these two. So these two bigger octos, which I really like. So they can be added into the planner as well. But I wanted to now give you the total for this week. So this week was more of a chill week. I didn't get as much completed as I did last week. So we only made 27 plushies this week. We made 9 regular sized octos, so like the little baby octos. We made 9 penguins, 5 brontosauruses, 2 big octos just now, and 2 turtles just now, because the rest of them I will count next week once I actually finish them up. So that's 27 plushies, and we were able to market prep 316 euros worth of plushies. But then I also got lots of candle vessels done, so we have quite a lot of those finished actually. So these 2 shelves I mostly made this week, but they're still like not completed, so they're still empty. I still need to sand them, seal them, and fill them next week. So we will see how busy of a market prep a week in terms of plushies it will be, since I have a little bit to do for my candles still to have them replenished. I think that I will not bring my new types of candles that I made yesterday. So the roses and the little espresso, I think I won't bring to next week's markets because I still have to test them. So like try out different wicks and see which ones are the correct size for these vessels. So I will just replenish the candles that I've had at my markets before, but that will need to get done next week. So we will see how much plushies we can prep next week. But for now, I thank you so much for watching this week of market prep all the way until the end, and I will see you guys again next week for another video. I'm actually thinking that I might do the 4th and final week of market prep for this market prep challenge as like a little bonus video, so be on the lookout for that. I kind of made too many videos and I'm really far behind in posting them, so you might get a bonus video soon, so we will see all about that. But I will see you guys again anyways next week, so until then, bye.